Hey, welcome back to the channel. So the other day I was at Home Depot kind of looking around and found myself in the tool section, as I usually do, looking at stuff, and came across this little slide rule. It wasn't much. It was like $8 maybe a little more. It was fairly cheap, but the body's mainly brass. It's got a little ruler inside, and it's made for, I don't know if you can see this or not, but made for kind of measuring. You can measure on the inside of something or the outside of something, and then you can measure the inside of something through these sides. So it's kind of like a micrometer to a point, but not as accurate. This is, just for basically a ruler. So I picked it up. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try that. So I opened it up, and it was not the best quality. I mean, it's an $8 ruler, right? So I started looking at it some more and figured, how can I make this a little bit more my own? Because I like to do that with my tools. So today we're gonna make this our own. I'm gonna clean it up and make it a little better. It's a little rough. All right, so I bought this ruler. Here's it up a little bit closer. You can see right, come on, focus. So I don't know if you can see right here is an out and an in. So this is for the outer dimension, measures here, and the inner dimension measures there.
Thanks. I needed that.
So essentially, if you take this board here, right, you can come in here and you just pull tight on that, like that. And that gives you, on the out right there, 3/4 of an inch. If you were to wanted to measure something, let me see, do I have anything I can measure internally? There we go. So this is a piece from that chainsaw mill that we cut off, right? If you came in here and you wanted to measure the internal, you can measure off these pieces right here. On this side of it, you can come in here and measure, and then on the in, we're at 1 inch. So this distance in here is 1 inch internal. And then, like, for example, the outside is 1 inch and 1/8. So, I mean, it works, right? But it's kind of rough sliding. It's a little hard. So I want to smooth that out. This is like just machined brass. It's very kind of scratchy and not smooth, by any means. It's kind of harsh edges on the hands. So I want to smooth these edges out, polish this up a bit, get kind of the rough marks out, make these the out and in markings a little bit more defined. And then it does show in inches and centimeters as well. So standard and metric is the words I'm looking for. All right, so let's get started. Let's pull this thing apart. And we'll, I think I'm gonna leave it together for now. I'm gonna put it on some 150 and then some 220 to kind of get these machining marks out of it. Kind of smooth it out a little bit more, and then polish it. So you have to be cautious when you're doing this, not to sand the insides of these, because these are made for this ruler. They're accurate, so you don't want to wind up taking material off. So basically, we're just going to focus on the outsides, basically the sides, and maybe the edges. So like I said, I've got a little 150 here, kind of stuck it on some glass and put a little bit of water on here just to make everything a little more slippery. And I'm just gonna circular motion this for a bit, flatten it out a little bit more, and just try to get some of those machining edges, machining marks out. Try to do this where you can see it. Left-handed. trying to put pressure on the outside and the in at the same time to kind of make it a little more even. So you can feel it get a little smoother, and we'll check it here. So we'll wipe the back side off. And look, so we're flat here. I don't know if you can see, but in here is still kind of a different shade. So that tells me that's a low spot. I'm not too worried about making this dead flat, but you know, the more precision we can make it, the better. The more, more better. So we'll just sand for a little bit more. Brass is fairly soft, so you won't be here all day to make quick work of this. All right, I'd say that's good for the back side for 150. So I want to do the front side as well, but I don't want to mess up this ruler. So I'm going to pull this out on this side. This ruler doesn't come off, so I'm going to try to be a little surgical on this side with it. Okay, that's that. So this is the side that slides inside of this groove here. And I don't want to take off too much of it, but I'm not going to use this 150 on these edges because this is the side that slides on. I think I'm going to wind up using a little, maybe some steel wool or something just to smooth that out a little bit. But the backing here, you can tell where they put this kind of thumb knob in here. They sanded it a little bit, but it's not the smoothest, so let's just do a little bit on that side. Yes. All right, so we're done there. We've sanded it a little bit. Now I could go to the 220 grit, but before I do, I want to knock some of these edges off, these sharp edges from the machining, just so it's a little more comfortable in your hand. These kind of sharp edges here are, they're fine, but if you hold this and you're working on a project for a couple hours, this is going to get a little rough in your hand. So I just want to kind of just smooth these edges out a little bit. I could do it on sandpaper, but I'm going to use a file instead. Excuse me. Burping up lunch with friends again. I gotta stop drinking on Sunday afternoons. Okay, so here's our piece. I just put it in the vise. Just got like a small little tiny file. I'm just gonna run it along the edges. And just kind of round out these edges just a little bit. Yeah, that already feels better. So now this internal side, this is what this piece slides in, right? So this goes inside here and slides in and out. They've put a little cut in here and bent this on purpose. That's what gives it its holding power that holds this in. So it's a little bit of tension. And if you can see, it's not exactly 90 degrees from there. These are slight little angles that kind of fit in this little groove. So it's kind of like a little bit of a dovetail groove that slides in. But just going to take this file and just kind of run it in here. Knock off any burrs, machining edges, or anything that were in here. Just kind of smooth it out a little bit more than whatever grinder they use to cut this groove with has produced. I don't want it to be loose in here, but I want it to slide smoother than it does. It's a little rough. So even that, you can see, is just much better. It's starting to get rid of a lot of those grinding marks and making it a smoother transition in there. Small little files like this have small teeth, so when you're filing a lot like this, they get kind of gummed up, and you'll notice your first few cuts will start working well, and then it'll stop. So you take something like this. This is just a brass brush. Kind of clear out those teeth a little bit, and that'll make it cut better on each cut. Nice. Okay. All right, that's better. I can already even feel that it feels much smoother in there. All right, so now we're gonna go with 220 grit and just kind of repeat that process that we did originally, those same spots that we hit on the 150. That's way too much water. Just repeat that process with the 220 just to kind of smooth out, and you want to sand until all those 150 scratches are gone. One way, if you don't know if your scratches from this grit has gotten rid of the previous ones, go in different directions. So on the 150, go this way, right? And then on the 220, go this way with it. That'll ensure if you still see lines going this way when all the rest of them are going that way, you've still got some sanding to do. But I can pretty much look at the way the light dances off the scratches and know where we're at. So get a little bit more over here. Doing the same, kind of rounding it, softening all those edges up. If you're going to be using a tool for hours at a time, you don't want it to be uncomfortable, right? If it's uncomfortable to handle, you're going to end up not reaching for it subconsciously. Your tools will make your work, they should be enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable to use and hold, right, then you're not going to want to reach for it. I've got an idea how to bring those out too, so not too worried. Does that feel good? Yep, it's feeling better. All right, we're going to hit this back side of this. Okay, now I've got just a little double aught or triple aught steel wool. Just gonna rub it on the back. Just actually here, so we don't scratch up. Throw it on a rag here. Polish that side a little bit. Well, it depends how bright you want this. If you want all scratches out, I would go even further than 220 grit. I would go to 400 or 500 or so before you do the polish step, which we're going to do next. I don't mind a few scratches, but I just want it smoother in my hand, I'm going to go to this front, and I'm going to steel wool this inner groove. Just polish it a bit. There, so you can even see the shine in it now. much better. All right, so I've just got some kind of jeweler's polish here. It's just a compound. And then when you start this kind of grinder up, it's got this soft, like polishing wheel on it, right? You put a little bit of this compound on it and it embeds in these fibers. And then as you polish this, it's kind of like sanding it, but it's like where that was like 220 grit, this is like 5,000 grit. So it sands it to the point where it like polishes it, makes it shinier. So we'll take it apart. We'll start on this back side. So right here, just that little bit. Just that little bit has it to a mirror finish, right? So there's the bottom where we haven't done yet, right? And there's the top. You can actually see the other side of my garage, my bike, in the reflection. That's how polished it gets. One thing to note, this is brass, and brass is an excellent conductor of heat. And as you polish this, this will get like crazy hot. So gloves might be a good thing to wear, or you know, just take breaks with it or whatever. But if it starts getting too hot for you, let it cool down. You don't want it to get too hot. I mean, brass can get warm, but it's not going to hurt anything. But just, you know, don't hurt yourself. So we are going to bring that to just a mirror finish. Why? Because we can. Don't have to, but you know, it's cool. I'll do this in safety where I got microphone cords hanging around and stuff. It's, you know, don't do as I do. Be safe and stuff. Okay, so that's us to a nice mirror finish on the back. The front's got a few more scratches in it still, but that's okay. It's I don't, like I said, I didn't want to sand to the point where these measurements markings kind of worked out. And then we polished the back up just a little bit, but essentially it should now fit in here to a pressure fit, but much like, it's almost like butter. Okay, so last little bit I want to do, let's pull that out. I want to make these measurements a little more visible. So what I think I'm going to do is take a little bit of this just a little bit of black spray paint and just come in here and just fill in these depths. A little bit of black paint. Should be all we need. Just take that. And just wipe off the top. You don't have to scrub real hard, just brush it off. Getting those grooves. It's a little bit more noticeable now. I've got some black kind of inlay in there, inches, meter, out in. I don't know how good the camera will pick it up, but it's there. That might be good right there, that angle. So you can see the inches and out in meters a little bit better. Okay, one more step, just because we're extra. Let's see, where did I put it? Right here. So I've got a little bit of this just kind of machine wax I use on like my saws and things, make it flex a little bit better. I'm going to just get a little bit of a rag. Just take a little bit of this towel here. Usually I put this on with like steel wool, but just gonna go inside here and kind of put a little wax on the inside. Polish that in. Can I get my nail down in those grooves? Get your fingernail down in there a little bit. You can do the backside too, to be honest. Just kind of protect it a little bit. And then buff it off. Okay, I'll put it back together. And there we have it. One polished, looks much more high-end now. Got shiny mirror finish all the way around. It's much more comfortable in the hands. So this is an Empire, like look at that. All right, so we took a $8 tool and made it better today. Short, quick video today, just, you know, working on tools and stuff. I've got some other projects coming up that I might use this for. I honestly didn't have a use for it, but I was in the store and I was picking up, honestly, I was picking up a smaller ruler, smaller steel rule. So I've got this one back here that I use a lot. Actually, it's by Empire too. So I use this for a lot of projects, but sometimes this is a little too big. You know, this is 18 inches, where this is, you know, 6-inch rule. So I was there getting one of these because I was like, yeah, I need a smaller steel rule. These are nice for small woodworking projects. But I saw this next to it in the aisle and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it, you know? I have plans to build this like workbench in this back tool cabinet type thing in the spring or the summer maybe. And this would be a nice piece to put in there, you know, nice and polished up and looking nice and bright next to, you know, the other brass tools and stainless tools and things that I have, hand planes and that. So this would be pretty cool. So I bought it. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. So that's all for today. Quick video. If you did like this content or this type of content, I appreciate if you subscribe down below, hit the bell for notifications and whatnot. Leave a like, thumbs up, and leave a comment if you have one. You know, if you have a comment, you like this type of stuff, you want to see more of this stuff in more detail, I'm happy to do it. If this is boring and you'd rather see me outside hiking and stuff, let me know. Weather's been iffy. We got like a foot of snow this week, so a lot of the trails are probably deep snow, and I don't have any snowshoes. Not really a winter. I kind of hate the winter, to be honest, but I'll do it. It's not bad. Like walking on, I think the last video I walked through the woods, and it's just something about fresh snow under your feet. It is pretty cool if it's not like bitter cold. For me, it's no fun. Like 15 degrees walking through the woods, just wind just hurting your face. That's not fun to me. I also don't want to put 20 pounds of gear on me to stay warm, you know. I'd much rather stay in the garage and work on stuff. Tinker. I'm a tinkerer. Well, I'm rambling too. If you haven't noticed, I'm sure you have. You probably, if you're still watching this, bless you, because, you know, you probably could have turned this off 5 minutes ago. But here we are. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Subscribe, comment, like, all that fun stuff. I really do appreciate it. Trying to build a channel, like I said, but we'll see you on the next one. Measuring things, measuring my subscriber count, and it ain't going up very fast. People don't like you, Matt.